Hi, welcome to my channel. I wanted to create this video because a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago actually, we took our 8-month-old son for the very first time to Walt Disney World. And as someone who is a really big planner and loves creating lists, I wanted to kind of create a video to share out some really good resources that we used for our first trip with our son. I'm a really big list maker, and so I was creating that list and checking it and rechecking it so many times because I didn't want to be that parent that like went to Walt Disney World and either forgot something and had to go either to Target or Walmart or something off property, away from our hotel, and go grab whatever we were forgetting, or overpay at Walt Disney World. And so I wanted to take a couple moments and create this video for you, parent to parent, to say, hey, we just went to Walt Disney World with a baby under the age of 1, and these are some really clutch items that I think would be really beneficial to you. I am gonna also be highlighting a couple of small businesses, and I'm gonna link them below, and also link any products that I have below as well, as best as I can. None of this stuff is sponsored. I'm not that big of a channel to have any sort of sponsored content, but I think these are just really great businesses or really great products that I just wanna share from parent to parent that really worked for us. So maybe it could help you if you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World. I guess as a disclaimer, of course, every single baby is different, and maybe something that works for us doesn't necessarily work for you, and that's totally fine. Obviously, I'm not gonna go over everything that we brought to Walt Disney World, but I just wanna go over some really key items that we took that you could take to Walt Disney World and maybe some other vacations as well, whenever you're packing with an infant. So let's dive in. So the first business that we purchased from was a business called Yeah Baby Goods. You might be familiar with Yeah Baby Goods if you have an IKEA, I believe it's pronounced Antelope high chair. We have purchased their accessories. We have the same IKEA high chair, and we have purchased, they have like a silicone floor mat for underneath the high chair. They also have accessories. I'm literally looking at the high chair right now, but they literally have accessories for like a silicone mat to go on the tray. They also do cushion covers for the cushion behind that you can insert into the high chair. They also have leg wraps and footstools. So we have purchased previously, when we first started solids with our son, we purchased the floor mat and the leg wraps and also the footstool for our son at home. And right before our trip, they came out with something called a restaurant bag. So I think they've had these out before, but they like redid them or did some new patterns, and so this is their restaurant bag. It's really cute. They have tons and tons of cute designs. The first one, or the designs that they do, are pretty neutral, so they're not like big primary colors. So I really like the polka dot one, and they also have like rainbows and flowers, so they're just really cute business. So definitely check them out below. But anyway, so they recently came out with this restaurant bag, and it's perfect for on-the-go eating. We have used this for eating out, and so we also take it for us on vacations, or we're going to be taking it on future vacations as well. So included in this bag is going to be their silicone mat, and so it's very similar, I think, to the silicone leg mat that they use for the trays on the high chairs. So this is great just to kind of lay down. Our son doesn't use utensils really well, and so a lot of the times I'm just cutting food or putting like pieces that specifically he can eat, and I put it right on the mat. The only downside I will say about this mat in particular is that it's not adhesive, so it doesn't necessarily suction to the table. Our son did, I think he picked it up maybe once or twice, but like we're able to catch it and like put it back down. I mean, once he's eating, and there's he's zoned in and he's going to eat. So I will say, if you do tend to have some sticky hands or hands that kind of peel up or like to explore, I know there's some more disposable adhesive options on Amazon, so maybe that would be a good route, but I think this was really great for us to use, and it works really well for us in particular. So this is included in the restaurant bag. Another thing that is also included is these really cute, and I love that they're gold, gold cutting shears. Perfect for baby-led weaning if you need to cut something. I use these to cut Mickey waffles, or if we did eggs and we did kind of not scrambled, we'll do like over hard for him. Just something super easy that we can cut, or cut up fruit. It's super, super quick. So really great item as well for anything on the go. Another caveat about this though, if you're going through any sort of security, like for example TSA, or if you're going through Walt Disney World security, you will get dinged for this. So I will say, as much as these are great, there were times that we actually didn't take these, because if you do get, I mean, for TSA they confiscate it or you have to check it, but for Walt Disney World, you have to have additional search for it. They actually never said anything about this when we had additional search, but just like a notice, if you're taking this in the parks and you have to go through security, you will get additional bag check. So there were some times though we actually just left these in the room and didn't take them to the parks, and then we were no longer having to deal with additional security searches because of that. But I still think they're really great, especially if you're gonna go dining, if you're gonna go out to eat at a restaurant. These are really perfect, and it's really cute in this little bag. So this is everything included in the restaurant bag from Yeah Baby Goods. In addition to that, we did do a couple more things that still fit in here that are not a part of Yeah Baby Goods, but some things that we included. Our son uses these as spoon/teethers. He was teething, actually. He got his first 2 teeth while we were at Walt Disney World. So these were perfect when food was not coming and he just needed something to kind of munch on. So they have this like little bumps here for him. But any sort of baby utensils, if your baby is taking forks or spoons, make sure to pack those in. They're really good. And then another thing that I also had more so in the room, not necessarily with us on the go, I did take a small container of, this is just dish soap, and then I also, where did it go? Oh, it's right here. I also, this is just a sponge. I cut it in half, and because I didn't want to take like a full big sponge, but I took a sponge because the nice perk about this is these silicone mats are really easy to be washed. Usually when we were at the restaurant, we took some wipies and we just kind of wiped it down, but then at the end of the night, I would take a little bit of dish soap and I would take a little bit, I would take a little bit of dish soap and I would just wash them in the sink at the room. Also included in our restaurant bag is we also included bibs. We took 2 types of bibs. We first took these ones, and these are just like really simple silicone bibs that have that little food catcher. And we also took these for those extra messy meals. If he was gonna have yogurt or something, my son loves to put food all up his arm, and so this is a nice little way to protect him. He's not a huge fan of this in particular, but it's something to keep the clothes clean, and it helps. So depending on what the day was potentially going to look like, we packed one of these. So we either had this one or we had this one. He likes this one the most, but so we actually use this one a lot more, but this is also good, and it's really foldable and flexible to fit in your bag. The last thing that we had in our restaurant bag for eating for our son is from another small business. And if you purchase anything from this list, I think this needs to be it. Like, if you look at just one item, look at this one in particular. So the one item that we purchased, and I'm gonna fold it so you can see the business name, was this called Theo's Mats. This is a disposable floor splash mat. We use this for every single meal, and we put it underneath the high chair. It's made out of recycled paper. And it's really thin. It opens up really big and like a rectangle. And so this was probably our favorite purchase that we did for our trip. We're gonna do this again for eating out, any sort of vacation, eating on the go, because babies are messy and it just happens. And so for us, for my husband and I, when it came to eating and eating out, we wanted to go with kind of that peace of mind that even though our son is gonna make a mess, we still wanted to be courteous to the wait staff, and we still wanted to be, we wanted to consider that like, hey, we understand a baby is messy, but we wanna do everything in our power to make mess as minimal as possible. So before we even sat down at the actual table, we would take this and we would put this underneath the high chair, and it caught literally everything. Our son probably right now, just in this stage of life, he probably takes a bite of food and then half of it goes either in his bib or it goes on the ground. So he's only eating about half of the food that he serves, and that's just gonna be what it is right now for the foreseeable future until he learns to eat a little bit cleaner. So we received so many compliments, thanks, like no joke. At every single meal, we received some sort of thank you so much for considering us when it came to that. Or, and it came from wait staff, it came from strangers, it came from parents of like, this is such a genius idea. Where was this when I had kids? And so I think this is a really, really, really fantastic purchase. Again, I'm gonna link them down below. Really great small business. They're available on Amazon, and they also have a Shopify website as well that I'll also link below as well. A really great team. I mean, I think for both Yeah Baby Goods and for Theo's Mats, I've also just messaged them back and forth or just give them little shout outs on my Instagram. And they are just like really responsive and just so kind, and I've done so many like reviews. I think they're really fantastic. So if you get anything, get these because these are fantastic. And your waiter, restaurant business owners, everyone, well, thank you for being considerate to them. So I just wanted to say that because I think that was a really great purchase. And so the last thing when it came to, and this kind of correlates into both eating, but also kind of transitions really well into going into the parks and going out and about. If you're ever waiting for food, we purchased, and they come in a set of 4, and there's a purple one too, but I don't know where it's at. So I have these 3 with me. So these 3 are like silicone bungee type little holders. So this is it kind of by itself. And they come with this like little holes and like the button that you can secure. These are perfect for you to secure on a variety of things. Right now I just have it kind of like on a rattle. I also have it included on a teether that we have for a son. These are really great because again, as babies throw literally everything on the ground, you can hook these on so many things. We actually hooked this on the plane for him to have as we were on our way to Florida. So you just take this other part and this other portion, find another place that you can kind of loop it around to secure it. We did this on the plane. Whenever we go grocery shopping here at home, we put this on the shopping cart. You can put it on the stroller, and you can put it on high chairs whenever you're waiting at restaurants. So these are really cool. I know that there's also like sippy cup specific ones as well, which we didn't find use this time around, but maybe in the future when our son is more so drinking other fluids aside from milk, but other fluids. Well, when our son is drinking something other than milk at this time. But I think these are really great. I mean, even around his little teeth, again, our son was teething and these were just super, super helpful. So these are always great to have on hand. And I never had to worry about them touching the ground. If they went far, or if they were thrown, they didn't go far. So these are really fantastic when it comes to that. Okay, so that's kind of everything when it came to like restaurants, but I think this is a good transition as far as going into things that we also had in our diaper bag that we used in the parks. So aside from your diaper bag, obviously you're gonna put diapers, you're gonna put wipes, a change of clothes for unexpected messes, but something else that we have also hooked on every single day to our diaper bag is these disposable bags. It's kind of like a disposable bag holder. I think these are even really similar to even just like doggy bags, and they have these little these disposable bags, and you can also buy them refillable. You literally just take one of these and you can take this bottom part out, put it back in and replace it. So we use these bags if there was a really soiled diaper, or if you also have wet clothes that you just don't have the ability to hang dry. If, you know, maybe you had a messy meal in the parks and you don't want to get food inside your diaper bag, I think this is really great. We use this on the go all the time. So these little disposable bags are perfect. As far as sun protection goes, we always had sunscreen on our baby, and just make sure you reapply it as needed. About every hour and a half or so is really good. We also had a little sun hat that we use throughout the parks because Florida is hot. Do you want this guy, little bud? Yeah. Okay, so we also brought these little sunglasses. I think they're just really cute and tiny. Our son is definitely in that phase of life though where he wants to take them off, and so they do come with these little attachments that you can just like clip on really easily. So if they do chuck them somewhere, they're not going far. So they're nice and secure around his head too as well. So I don't know if he wore these while we were on our trip, but they're really cute either way. If you can get your baby to wear these. Another thing that we also brought was this. There's actually a third piece with like a little like place where you can hook it or like hold it, a handle, that's what it's called. And they're detachable and they're able to be resealed like so. These are really cool and come in clutch, especially I think more so in the toddler phase. My husband used these for powders that he takes every single morning, and we use this bottom one. Someone woke up from his nap. And he's literally right here keeping me company, but we use this bottom one to put things like avocado slices, cucumber slices, smashed fruit. I think these are really good even if you are still kind of in that little, or kind of if you're still in the beginning stages of feeding solids. We still use these. The only thing that maybe I would do differently is take more of a flexible bag, maybe like those resealable or reusable types of bags, or maybe just wait until he's a toddler. So we use these, but not a ton when it came to this specific trip. But I think they're still really good and can come in clutch if you also need these for formula. If you are formula feeding, the top one, which is being washed right now, it has a formula dispenser as well at the top. So they can stack in any specific order, and they're perfect for on the go. Another thing that we always had carried, or always had with us, especially if there was any sort of percentage of rain, was a stroller rain cover. Thankfully, we actually never had to use it. We had a very, very beautiful week of sun in Florida, but you just never know. I had my raincoat with me, packed, ready to go, just in case there was some sort of percentage. We had a day that it looked like rain was gonna come, but then the rain just moved back and back. And that can happen in Florida, or rain can just literally come out of nowhere and just rain super hard for like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and then it's blue skies the following moment. So it's always good to be ready for rain when it comes to Florida, because you don't want to be stuck buying a really expensive poncho from Walt Disney World when they're really, really affordable elsewhere. So we always had a stroller rain cover on us or a rain jacket ready to go. Pacifiers, clips, if your baby takes a pacifier, again, I think this is just kind of like the key. Like if your baby can throw it, secure it some way, shape or form. So we have a pacifier clip that we've been using since he's taken a passy. And so there was times though that we had like just a solo passy, and there were so many times that he threw it, or we were like, where did it go? And it was like underneath him, and he like it snuck underneath him. So this was perfect, just to always have it clipped on him whenever he was in the stroller, or if we were waiting for food. Again, secure it if you can, whenever it's near your child. A portable sound machine, we use this one. I think I got it from Amazon from our registry. We use this in the room, or if he had to take a nap on the go. Lucas unfortunately didn't do great with on the go naps for like stroller naps. Again, every single baby is really different. For him, he wanted to do kind of like a held contact nap. So this wasn't needed for us necessarily on the go, but we had it ready to go if he did by chance. We just didn't have that luck with us. But if you do have a stroller nap, this is really good to kind of create that like closed in white noise environment if your baby also takes a white noise machine. Or we also had it in our room setup for him whenever he was actually sleeping at night. We also had it in the bathroom where he slept. And then the next item that I have, and I'm almost done, I feel like this is a lot of stuff, is a stroller fan. We actually have two of these. We have this one that has these flexible legs that you can wrap literally anywhere on the car seat, on the stroller, or it can also be bent in a way that it can stand. And we also have a handheld one, a handheld fan more specifically for Caio and I. We love these fans. They come in like 3 different settings, and because of Florida heat, we always had it on high, and we had to make sure our son was getting some sort of air. If you're outside walking around, Lucas gets warm really, really quickly. And so this is really perfect to always have pointing at your child to cool them off. This next item kind of ties in with the stroller and the sound machine, and that is going to be a portable charger. So something that you can charge your phone, charge your devices that you're using. Make sure you do also have the compatible cords, or the like cords to actually plug into the device handy as well. So bring your iPhone charger, or bring the cord that belongs to the stroller to make sure that you're able to actually use the portable charger. You're definitely using your devices a little bit more now at Walt Disney World, especially if you're using My Disney Experience, if you're checking wait times, if you're doing mobile order, if you're doing Genie Plus with the lightning lanes. You're definitely on your phone a little bit more, I think, these days with Walt Disney World. And so sometimes that can drain your battery, and so it's always good to have some backup fuel for that device if it's needed. So Lucas said don't forget your charger. And then the next item I have, I think this is definitely dependent on your baby again. We also brought these noise canceling headphones. Our son Lucas is pretty sensitive to noises, and we have this handy really more specifically for the parks. Disney has a lot of speaker music going throughout, so you had loudspeakers maybe during the parades, you have shows, you have attractions. We even had these on him when we rode Pirates of the Caribbean, because we know sometimes just like there's loud noises, and Lucas tends to get a little bit more scared, I think, than maybe your average baby. I don't know, but if you do have a baby, I mean, and babies just in general have typically sensitive ears, so we always had this as just an extra form of protection. So these were really great. They fit on pretty well with him, and he just looked really cute in them as well. So that's something that, again, I think that worked for us. Maybe it's not necessarily needed for you, but it worked really well. In regards to feeding, Lucas is still nursing at this stage in life, and so I had this breastfeeding cover that I purchased on Amazon. It's really versatile in not only being used as a breastfeeding cover, but it's also a car seat cover. We also use it for shopping carts. We also use it for shopping carts. And I just do really bad personally when it comes to nursing my son. in like a muslin cloth, he always kicks it or just it goes flailing. So this is a great 360-degree protection for us, just to make sure that we're well covered when it comes to eating. So that's in particular for nursing. I will say, and this is kind of a caveat to another video that I do plan on doing, because we are nursing, I'm not an expertise or an expert on formula feeding, but if you do need water, or if you forgot formula, check out the baby centers at Walt Disney World. There's one at every single park. Disney Springs, I could not find one, so I don't think there's one at Disney Springs, but above the 4 parks, there's a baby center, and it's right next to the first aid center as well, at every single park. Utilize those, please, please, please. But I'll talk about that more in another video I think that I'm gonna film next. But anyways, when it came to nursing, this is great if you needed to nurse on the go, or also if you wanted some privacy in the nursing centers as well. And then I'm almost done. I have the last 2 things that we packed that were very helpful for us. And unfortunately, this didn't hold up as much as I wanted. But if you go to Walt Disney World, you know you're going with a bajillion other families as well. And everyone has a black stroller, or black or gray, silver, is some type of very neutral color. And because Walt Disney World has specific stroller parking, you do have to be aware that cast members more than likely will be handling your stroller. So even though you parked your stroller in a specific area, there is a big chance that it moved. So you do need to find some sort of stroller identifier. I had this kind of, I'll put a clip of what it looked like originally. There was a lot more ribbon on here. And I personally made this myself. So as much as I wanted it to work, it really didn't work out. The acrylic worked fantastic. And it's great just to kind of have his name somewhere. But you do need a way to identify it. I remember when we were at Magic Kingdom, there was a stroller parking area that, as the hour went by, it no longer became a stroller parking area because they needed to make space for fireworks. And so all of these strollers that were by the castle all of a sudden had to be moved by the carousels. So you saw these parents coming to an area where they originally parked their stroller, and they were like, where did my stroller go? So just be aware that cast members may be moving it for safety reasons, or also to utilize space as well when it comes to parking your stroller. So make sure you have some sort of identifier. I might be putting these on Etsy. I will link my Etsy shop below if I do decide to do that in the near future. But there's definitely other small businesses on Etsy as well. You could just look up Stroller ID or Stroller Identifier, and there's lots of Disney specific ones if you're looking for some creative ones, or there's some that are just like palms or something like that sort. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, mister. Lucas is moving my cord. I just personally wanted something a little bit more neutral. I mean, this did have a lot more ribbon and a lot more blue available. We actually ended up just taking one of the leis from the Polynesian where we stayed at and just kind of wrapped it around as well. But it was pretty identifiable even though our stroller did move. But anyways, check out Etsy, or check out the Etsy links below to kind of see if maybe that's something that you could also look at. But you do need a stroller identifier because everyone has a black stroller, or there's also multiple families that do rent the ones from Walt Disney World and they all look the same. So just be sure to have some place to like really pop your stroller. And then the last thing that we purchased, I feel like I said this a million times in this video, but babies are messy. I think everyone knows that, and you just have to be ready for some messes. This is Branch Basics. They're all-purpose concentrate. So I actually took 2 bottles of this and just like the TSA travel friendly, because these did go on our diaper bag with wherever we went. And so this is just the pure concentrate from Branch Basics, and this is kind of diluted for any sort of stains. Lucas did a number in his swim diaper, and we used a lot of this to clean that up. But you just have to be prepared for messes of any way, shape, or form for babies. And so it's always good to have some sort of stain remover if you make it, I know there's like very specific stain removers as well that you could use. And so always have something on hand. This was always good. Again, I think there was times if Lucas did mess up a onesie and I needed to change him into his clothes, I would dab some of this on there, and then at the end of the night, wring it underneath the sink to see what I could get out of that stain and dry it. And then it went home and then it was washed right away. So always just be prepared for some sort of mess, some sort of potential stain, and see if you can potentially remedy it. If not, it's okay, but just be prepared if you can. Okay, so that's everything that we bought and that we personally had a really good use out of from our trip at Walt Disney World. There were a couple things that I did want to include on here that maybe could benefit you, but we just personally did not use them. The first is going to be these cooling towels. And so I know some people love these cooling towels and swear by them, but we just personally did not find use for them. So maybe this is something that you can consider, especially if you have maybe a child, a toddler, a baby that gets really sweaty really quickly. You just put these in water. Our initial plan was to do that and then just kind of put this around Lucas's neck whenever we were walking around, but the stroller fan was sufficient enough for us in particular. But maybe this is also a beneficial item that you could also use while you're walking around in that really, really warm Florida weather. So this is something else to consider. The second thing that we actually took but did not end up using was a swim floatie. So this was Lucas's first time in a body of water bigger than our bathtub. And so when it came to our pool day, we ended up just carrying him in and kind of easing him in as best as possible without this like big sort of like, here you go, like come in this swim floatie. But if you have a baby that's really accustomed to water and is willing to dive headfirst into everything, I think these swim floaties, it's really affordable, and so really easy to blow up. So we had it ready if we were going to use it, but we just personally didn't use it this trip, but it's still something that maybe you could use as well. And then there was one thing that we did forget, and I ended up having to purchase through Walt Disney World, unfortunately, and I totally forgot. So I think something that is just good to always have on hand and just make sure that you're prepared for is some sort of baby first aid kit. I have typically a clear bag with just about everything available. We have Band-Aids in there, Neosporin, bug spray, a thermometer for both Kaio and for Lucas. I had just about literally everything. We take daily vitamins that were available in there. We also had fever reducer for us, but the fever reducer we forgot was one for Lucas. And so I think I mentioned this earlier, but Lucas was teething, and his first 2 teeth cut the first 2 days while we were at Walt Disney World. And he had a low grade fever because of it. And I was able to take his temperature to monitor it, but I unfortunately did not pack any sort of fever reducer. And so I ended up having to purchase at the first aid little care center at the Polynesian. And of course it's a lot more expensive when you're purchasing through Walt Disney World, or I guess I could have gone to Target. So just maybe just a note, like don't forget any sort of potential first aid items. That's maybe something to remember just in case. It's always good to kind of be prepared just in case you get some sort of owie or you need some sort of pain relief for yourself and also for your little one. So just a note in regards to that. But that's everything. So I really hope this is beneficial. These are really some key items that helped us for our trip. But I'd love to still interact with you and say, hey, you forgot this. If there's something I forgot or something that worked really well for you. Of course, this is just our first trip to Walt Disney World, and we have many more trips planned ahead with our son. So I feel like we're gonna still kind of revise. And of course, as they grow older, things are definitely gonna change. But would love to know if you've taken a baby, what worked for you. Comment down below so we can also help other parents out if they're planning for their Walt Disney World trip. Other than that, thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in our next video. You wanna say bye? You say bye. Bye.